Hello, my name is Makinie and I will be doing a presentation on behalf of the behavioral health team on HIPAA versus FERPA, what the difference is between the two and how it applies to Renton Technical College, and also what happens after a referral for counseling is made. But first, introductions. My name is Makinie Soverall. I am one part of the behavioral health team. My counterpart is Sarah Hoaglin. We are both licensed marriage and family therapists. We provide free and confidential short-term telehealth counseling at this time as we are sheltering in place due to COVID-19, the pandemic. When we're back in person, we'll be able to do in-person or telehealth counseling, whichever you prefer. Short-term means 8 to 12 sessions. Confidential means that your information remains with the behavioral health team. We don't share the information unless the request is made, which is going to be covered in the presentation today. We also do referral services if we find that a referral is made that may be inappropriate for a short-term counseling sessions. You can find us at RTC.EDU/behavioral-health. And the other thing that we do is we can provide presentations, webinars, and workshops. So we can come to the classroom, we can do videos, which we post on YouTube, which can be embedded into Canvas, and we can do presentations for various teams, staff, and faculty on campus, whatever you need. Okay, so let's jump right into it. HIPAA versus FERPA. HIPAA is the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996, and FERPA is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act of 1974. The main difference between the two is that HIPAA has to do with the medical field, FERPA has to do with schools. So HIPAA was originally created to prevent doctors from sending faxes to the wrong organizations. This was happening obviously often enough that they had to create a law for it. So it protects confidential information having to do with birth dates, social security numbers, names, anything that is deemed identifiable. It protects entities from disclosing information to any third parties. As I was mentioning, it was originally created to prevent faxes from going to the wrong place. Obviously, since technology has advanced, that applies to any electronic devices from cell phones to laptops, etc. It applies to providers and not educators. So we're in a really unique situation here at Renton Tech where Sarah and I are both advisors. So that's where FERPA comes in, but we're also licensed counselors, and that's where HIPAA applies. So disclosure is required, and we'll cover that piece a little bit later when we go into what happens after referral. The other piece is we really want to adhere to this because we want to respect clients, and also we don't want to be fined. Now, Sarah and I, as we're licensed counselors, it's required that we have liability insurance, but that doesn't mean we want to go risking being fined $25,000 or losing our license as a result of inappropriately disclosing information. So let's go to FERPA. So FERPA applies to all educational institutions, so elementary schools, high schools, colleges that are funded by the U.S. Department of Education. So it protects the privacy of the students. So parents can have access to the students' information until they're 18 or in college. After that, you have to, and like advisors, staff, faculty have to request that a FERPA release is signed in order to disclose information. So again, this is different from HIPAA, as HIPAA protects confidential information like social security numbers, names, anything identifiable, whereas FERPA protects school-related educational information, so grades, progress, immunization records, things like that. Okay, so what happens after a referral is made? We've received this question quite a few times. So, usually we'll get an email or a phone call saying, can you please reach out to the student? Student needs your assistance. They'd like counseling. It's a little bit awkward because you may get a response like, okay, thank you so much for your referral, and nothing after that. You may be wondering, did the counselor call? Did the student respond? Are they in counseling right now? And unfortunately, unless a release of information is signed, we cannot disclose that information. We would love to tell you how counseling is going, or if they even picked up the phone or responded to an email. Unfortunately, we can't because of HIPAA. So what could be done is you could go to our Zoom lobby. So we have midday break with counselors, which is Wednesdays from 11 to 12. So you can attend with the student, make the referral, and then leave, knowing that the connection has been made. You can make the phone call with the student and make sure the connection has been made. Or this is what we suggest: trust that we are professionals and that we are doing the best we can to reach students once you put them in our hands. So within 24 to 48 hours, an email is sent to the student usually. There may be a follow-up phone call, but email is the fastest way because we have two completely different job duties and we're juggling and all that. So we reach out to them. If they respond to us, we're scheduling the appointment, we're sending intake forms, and during our first appointment with them, we have an intake screening, very similar to what you may find when you go to a doctor's office. So what symptoms are you experiencing? How is your mood? How is sleep going? Are you having issues in school or at work or at home? Anything like that. We do this screening to make sure that the referral is appropriate. And we also want to let you know that if we find that the referral is inappropriate for short-term counseling, we're not just going to drop them. We're not going to say, oh, can't help you. No. We're going to let them know, okay, it sounds like you may need help with housing. You may need help with food. You may need help with tutoring. And so we are very much connected with the Learning Resource Career Center, or LRCC, the resource team, which is an unofficial team of some wonderful people who get students connected to various resources, both internally, but also out in the community, and United Way of King County. So we do have contacts that we put students in contact with, and a release is usually signed when we're making that referral. If it's direct, the student's just going to go to the resource, but if it's more of a warm handoff, then a release is signed. So again, we cannot disclose, did the student respond to the email, how sessions are going, are they attending regularly, unless a release of information is signed. So this is a authorization for release of information here. So the piece that we're probably going to encourage students, if they want us to be in communication with instructors, or they want us to be in communication with resources, both internal and external, we'd probably just say continuing care plan or progress in treatment. The other things don't really apply because with HIPAA, even when we're releasing information, we want to release the least amount necessary to provide people or organizations with the information that they need. So you're probably going to see those two boxes checked if you do see this form. The other piece is the purpose. So we may say something like grades update or progress update. And also, duration is very important as well. So the student has the option of saying whether they want this information released indefinitely, or if there is a timeline. If they're like, I only want you to have one phone call, they can state that they can write that on the form, or they can state that, we can add that to the form. I think that is the gist of it. However, if you did want more information, you can go to hhs.gov. That's Health and Human Services government agency, and they cover HIPAA in much more detail than what I've provided today. Again, my name is Makinie. This presentation is on behalf of the behavioral health team. If you do want to contact Sarah or myself, you can reach us through our webpage, rtc.edu/behavioral-health, or behavioralhealth@rtc.edu. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.